Your takeaways from the match tonight?
Like I told Malcolm, at the end there, and it's what I told every one of the kids as we went through the handshake line at the end was, all three of those games can look like the third. All three of those games can look like the third when we battle like that. We respect the ever-living heck out of Western. They've been the big dogs in this conference. The record speaks for itself, and Travis is a legend, But it doesn't mean we need to fear them. There's a difference between respect and fear, and we know they're really good. But we also know what they do. We also know that our A game can hang with anybody, and it's just that battle, that mentality. Honestly, I haven't even looked at the numbers. I will later, but all I wanted to see was that fight. And the fight in 3 was beautiful. That was fun, intense volleyball, and it's what we can be, but we need to do it all the time.
Sure. What's the preparation like gearing up for a team like Western?
Yeah, it's you watch a lot of video, but there's no secrets with what they do. They run a very efficient style of play, and they're just really good at it, and they're really consistent, and they've got really good athletes that do it. So, we scouted them. We knew what they did. We like some of the things that we did to make it uncomfortable for them, or at least be in the right positions to make some plays, and our kids made some plays. But it's tough. We feel a little snake bit. We still got 3 kids out right now, but to see that battle against that team, they're missing somebody too, so it has no excuse, and it's part of sports. But it's just instilling the fight. It's instilling the fight, and when you're building a foundation for a program, that's what we're looking for.
You get down 2-0 in the way the second set played out. To see that fight happen in the third set in particular, how did that make you
Yeah,
feel?
it was interesting because we were almost begging them to believe. It's like we know they're really good, but even in the first 7 points of the match, we saw several things that we had designed that absolutely worked. And it was just getting them to just constant preaching. Our stuff works when we do it right. We just need to do it right over and over and over and again, frankly, like they do. That's just volleyball.
Just walk us through the third set. What was working well for you? What was the spark that really generated some of that momentum?
I thought our serve game was really good. There were some instances where we took some aggression off and almost made it uncomfortable where they're waiting for something big and then have to lunge at something not very big. I thought we served to the positions really well. They run a 2-man serve receive because they've got really good passers that they can do it with 2. Most teams use 3. But we attacked it a certain way, and I thought they still passed pretty well, but some of the angles involved make the offense a little bit more difficult and a little bit more uncomfortable. So we drew some errors from them, which is tough to do, but it worked. Our blocking game was a lot more disciplined with what we were trying to do. So when they're trying to hit around a well-placed block, that's when you get some errors. And then our back row made some plays. And it got frustrating, when you're playing and you expect to win and somebody just keeps fighting back, some of that frustration can start to set in. I thought our transition game off of some of those digs was pretty good, and we played hard.
Here it is. You play them again tomorrow. How can you sort of bottle this up and carry that belief over?
Yeah, I mean that's what we were just talking about in the locker room. Is easy to please but hard to satisfy. Don't you dare be okay with, hey, we played them tough. That's the next step. What's the next step after that? So how do we respond the next day? And all that starts with lifestyle. How our D1 athlete mentality says, oh, we were right there. We had some opportunities. So are we hungrier or are we satisfied and go, that was it. We were close. Pat on the back. Or do we come back and say, no, that was an appetizer. Now I'm hungrier. So that's what we need to do.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely, guys.
Awesome.